Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. I'm your sports editor, John Gerardi, and alongside this week, Evan Wheaton, our sports reporter, took over for Mitch Rupert over the summer. Evan, glad you can finally get on an episode. We've been trying, but yeah.
I got to watch one once.
Yeah. But you had that meme last week of the Squidward overlooking SpongeBob and Patrick about how you're left out, so figured we'd get you in. Fun. So this week we're talking about Lycoming football. Last week we talked high school football, but Lycoming, 3-1, 2-0 overall in the conference. Lost their opener, Evan, to Susquehanna, 44-10. But since then, 3 straight wins over Lebanon Valley Kings and a huge one last week against Stevenson. You were watching that game against Stevenson. Kind of talk about how that ending and how that kind of unfolded.
Yeah, it was quite an ending. Lycoming went on a game-winning drive. Hardly any time. Stevenson left them about a minute left. Elijah Shemery, he escaped a game-ending sack, ran 19 yards out, stopped the clock, picked up a new set of downs, kept the drive alive, touchdown pass to Joey Guida in the end zone with 10 seconds left, kind of took the wind out of the sails with Stevenson. Coach Clark was talking about, if they want to be a good team, you have to be able to win on the road, and they have been doing that, with these 2 conference wins on the road.
I know you talk to Coach Clark every week here, and last week before that Stevenson game, he was saying about how they, at the time, they were 0-3, but they might be the best 0-3 team in the country. And I think that game kind of proved that they're, they may have been 0-3, but they're a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, no, it really shows. Their defensive line is so potent. It's one of the best in D3 football, and it really showed. They sort of limited the Warriors with the backfield. They were able to get Kyle Powell some first downs and some good touches. Joey Guida obviously was good in the run as well. They were doing what they could, and they did just enough. But they have good pieces around them where they don't have to necessarily rely on the run. But it was a game where you expect a lot of passing, but
Yeah. How much do you feel like that win was not just a statement win for Lycoming, but one that you think is going to give the players just a ton of confidence moving forward?
It's one thing to be able to compete on the road, but to be 2-0 in the conference and come back home with that momentum facing Delaware Valley. If there's any time to knock down the king of the MAC, it's probably this week if it's going to happen. Obviously, it's a tall task. Delaware Valley really checks off all the boxes offensively. They're averaging 39 points per game. They're three-peat defending MAC champion before the lost COVID season. So I think this defense has had a lot of ways that it's been shining. Red zone stops. They're sacking the quarterback. They're getting the stops that they need. They're getting MAC Defensive Player of the Week in Hunter Campbell. So the defense has been evolving as the weeks go by. Obviously, Delaware Valley is going to be the measuring stick for that defense.
What do you think is going to be the key for Lycoming here against, hosting Delaware Valley on Saturday? Because I feel like defensively they need to kind of they have to have their A game for this one, I feel.
Yeah, no, you have to play a damn near perfect game. They're going to emphasize the run defense like they always do, but the thing with Delaware Valley is they have a workhorse tailback in Dante Simmons. He has about 280 rushing yards on the season. No one else in Delaware Valley's backfield has like 80. So, expect him to
try to contain him.
Yeah, you're going to have to really try to contain him. They're going to challenge Delaware Valley to throw, to make them one-dimensional. And, if you can contain that backfield and force that, that's going to work in Lycoming's favor. It's just, it's a little easier said than done when you have a tailback like that.
Yeah, yep. I feel like Lycoming, too, has a lot of – their defense has been playing really well. They held Kings to 8 points. They held Lebanon Valley to 6. But, offensively, they got, rushing-wise, they got Joey Guida, 164 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Kyle Powell for 161. And Elijah Shemery is kind of emerging as sort of a dual threat. 105 rushing yards and 2 TDs, and he's throwing for 780, 6 touchdowns. He's only thrown 2 picks so far this year. Yeah,
Elijah Shemery is mobile. He's a dual threat. He picks up yardage with his feet. We saw that at Stevenson. We saw that at home against Lebanon Valley. We saw that with Kings. He's a quarterback that can make something out of a broken play with his feet. If containing the quarterback is something that Delaware Valley kind of struggles with, well, I don't know if they struggle with anything, but if that's one thing, then that's something to keep an eye on, because Elijah Shemery reached 5,000 career total yards of offense in that game-winning drive. And just for some added context, it's not like there was a season last year.
Yeah.
So he's, I think, the 6th or 7th player.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and he's 15 yards away from being the next for total yards of program history. So, I mean, Elijah Shemery, you know, he went to Jersey Shore. They teach him good over there. It's a great high school football program, as we know, coming off a state final appearance. So, you know, he's definitely well groomed for his role as a starting QB.
And he just got nominated as a semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy this past week. So he's having a great season, and we're only 4 weeks in. You know, from what you've seen from their practices and all that, how much fun is it? And you obviously covered their one home game. How much fun has their offense been to kind of watch?
It's fun because you don't know who's going to be the next big contribution. Tyja During, he's had like one big play each game. I mean, he's had 50-yard catches, 18-yard reception to get into the red zone against Susquehanna, a touchdown on 2nd and long while still in Warriors territory to go all the way downfield for a score that put Lycoming back into the game against Stevenson. So before they even got on that last-second touchdown drive to win it, they had to get back into it. Tyja was the guy. He's great on special teams. He's a great return specialist too. Penalties on special teams kind of hinder that, but if they clean that up, he's good on both. Kyle Powell is running back 1. He's able to get a lot of touches. Joey Guido is a pass-catching back. He's able to, just like that end zone touchdown, the way he reached for that grab. It wasn't one of Elijah's greatest throws, but he made that play.
Yeah,
and in the end, got the job done. Got the job done.
Yeah, exactly. Well, who would you say is kind of for both Lycoming and Delaware Valley here, who would you say is the one key player for both teams that you think have to be kind of on their A game to get the win for both respective schools?
Be on their A game. Well, Dante Simmons, again, going back to that tailback for Delaware Valley, I think they're going to really, really challenge Lycoming's run defense, and Lycoming's going to be trying to get that run defense started. They emphasize it every week. So whoever sort of wins that battle will also be kind of like dictating the way that the game shifts. Turnovers are another thing to look out for. Lycoming forced 5 turnovers against Stevenson. Kind of gets hard to win football games at that point when you cough with the ball 5 times. I don't know if Delaware Valley is going to make those same mistakes because they are so disciplined. But you're going to have to look at a few different players. How's that defensive line going to handle Dante Simmons? How is Elijah Shemery going to handle being pressured? So there are a little different factors here. But I would say for Lycoming, keep your eyes on Elijah. He's having a hell of a year. And I would keep an eye on Dante Simmons because he's going to get a lot of touches against Lycoming, especially early on.
You're obviously going to be out of state, unfortunately, this weekend, so you missed this big matchup. Our former sports editor, Ben Brigandy, though, will be there, so if you give him a follow on Twitter, you can stay up to date with all the game action as it goes on. But I think this is going to be a really good matchup between these two on Saturday. And if you're in the area on Saturday and you want something to do, Lyco, that's gonna be a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big one. You can tell that this is the one that's circled on the calendars a lot for a lot of people that keep up with this team. Delaware Valley is really the top dog of this conference, and it's going to be a real test for Lycoming.
Well, that'll do it for us on this week of Sports Talk. As always, I'm John Gerardi and Evan. Evan, hopefully we'll get you more frequently on Sports Talk so we don't have Doc Massey hogging the airtime every week.
He's had enough.
Exactly. We'll see you guys.